Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. So in today's video, we are continuing the trade breakdown series. So I will show you another trade that I took and that ended up as a great trade. And as always, we will break it down and see what happened with that trade. So if you don't know what the trade breakdown series is about, you can go back on my YouTube channel and watch the first episode of that series and you will basically, learn what it is about, and then you can watch this video and understand it fully. So before we start, if you could just please leave a like under the video, I would truly appreciate it. And it's not even for the likes themselves, it's just that they show me whether you guys like the video or not. And after I can focus on creating the type of content that you guys want to see from me. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that this morning I closed my Euro AUD trade in profit. So here is the screenshot that I posted in my story. And so basically this trade ended up as a good trade. I made 1.2% growth of my trading account. Now it's not a crazy big trade, but it's still a good trade. I could have made a little more, but I ended up making 1.2% like I said. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I think that there is a extremely important lesson that you can learn from that trade, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So let's not waste more time and let's jump on my screen and take a look at this trade. Okay, so we are now on my screen and let's look at this Euro AUD trade. So first of all, where was my entry, my stop, and my target? So my entry was here. It's always between the green box and the red box. So that was my entry level. Here was my stop loss and here was my target. So this trade, like I said, ended up as a good trade, but I could have made more money. So I took the trade here and I closed it this morning at this level right here. So first of all, let's see why did I took the trade, and after we will see why did I close the trade. So first of all, why did I took the trade? Well, let's start as always on the higher picture. So you see that on the higher picture, what we have is that we have this upside movement here and we have a downside movement here. And that downside in itself, I don't think that it will be, just a downside. I think that it's likely here that we will get another one to complete a bigger pattern in that zone. That is one possibility, and that is still what I'm expecting. But if we zoom in into what we are actually getting right now, well, you see that the structure in itself was pretty simple. So we got an up move, we got a correction, we got another up move, and here we got another correction. So when we were into that zone, well, we knew that the possibility of this going and making another up here before the downside was very likely to happen. So after that, well, I simply followed this correction with more details and attention and waited for each trade setup. So basically now how this correction actually went, well, we had our first impulse right here, and after we got this nice three-wave correction. Once again, it's not and you'll see that I often repeat that in these videos, but just because you have three-wave inside of a correction doesn't mean that it's a classic just 1 to 3 pattern. There are many other patterns that still have three waves within themselves. So this is a case of them. But anyway, so here we have, like I said, our impulse, our main correction. We have another impulse, and so out of that gives us our bigger 1 to 3 wave pattern here correction. So when we were around this level, and especially when we broke out of that low right here, I started looking for a reversal pattern because we knew that this was making a correction and that eventually we would go back up. And so I started, following the chart with more attention because I did not want to miss this next impulse up. So after that, well, I went on the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, well, the setup in itself was not really complicated. So you see that we have our breakout right here. We got another correction. So when we broke out of the correction, I simply took the trade here. My stop was under the lowest point, and not only, for example, the correction, because this could have turned out to be, for example, something like this, and after more downside. And so even if it would have been the case, I would still have been able to get out of the trade with a profit, which is why I decided to put my stop loss at the lowest point here instead of just that level. So I took the trade here once again, and I just want to make it very clear as well for you guys. There are many more reasons why I take trades, right? Here I'm just giving you the main reasons and to give you an overlook of what I was looking at. But if you would like to learn more about how I trade, what I do, work with me, and just learn more about the skill in itself, well, you can visit the first link in the description, and it will redirect you to my online course, and where you will basically be able to learn the skill with a lot more details. And that's where I go in all details and share everything I know. But here I'm just giving you the main information and main things I was looking at about that trade. But you can still learn a lot, right? And I believe that these videos are helpful for many of you guys, because I get a lot of good returns every time that I do them. So anyway, end of the little section here, and so let's continue about what I was talking about. So that was my entry, that was my stop, here was the target, like I said. And so, well, after that I took the trade, it just continued the upside. We got another small correction here, as you can see, and after we just continued and broke up. So at this point I moved my stop under this low of the correction. And last Friday we actually got very close to the top, as you can see. But if we zoom in, and I will show you guys, but if we zoom in, we will see that we haven't broke the top, right? We are still lower than the previous top. And so I was expecting two things here, and I'm still expecting these two things, but now it's becoming more and more clear of what it is actually doing. And you will see that this is also the explanation of why did I close the trade. So you see that now we have our main impulse, and we have one down move. So one down move, or even one up move in itself, one move is not enough to tell whether a market is going more upside or downside. We always need to wait for something bigger and more developed in order to make a real forecast. And so basically now the two things that we can expect is that either we make a correction here, and after we continue more upside. If that is the case, then I will just be able to re-enter the trade for this next wave up. And the other possibility as well that it can do is that you get a correction here and you go for one more low. And so why is that possible? Well, it's because this at the end could turn out to be just your main impulse. Here it could turn out to be a bigger correction, and you would go for one more downside, and at the end you will still get this bigger 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? So this is a little more advanced. Normally I don't share these type of development here on these videos. So but yeah, that is one other possibility that I'm expecting. And so that is the reason why I closed the trade here, is because we have a lot of high probabilities of basically going downside for another big down before we actually see the long-term impulse here. So that is the main possibility, and so I just basically closed the trade when we broke out of the last low of the small correction, meaning this one here. You see that this morning we broke out of the low that was right here. So I closed the trade at this level because, like I said, we have a high probability of going back down for another low before we actually make a long-term impulse. So that was pretty much the trade. So we saw where I took the trade, my stop, my target, why did I take the trade, and also why did I close the trade. So that was the trade breakdown for the Euro AUD trade. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again. I hope that it helped you, and if it did, please share this video with another trader, because if it helped you, then it is likely going to help another person, right? So thank you for watching. Trade with care, take care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.